Peace, y'all. I see Black Sun going live. I know I got my shit scheduled for like 12, but I'm gonna go live now and just knock this out because this wasn't a long live stream that I just wanted to do. I just wanted to make this point about cults and stuff like that. I'm waiting for my ad to play now. I'm ready to put on this video. I'm ready to play this audio. It's from TED Talk TV. Hold on, y'all. Goddamn, my alarm going off. When you wake up before your alarm, like.
My journey to coming here today started in 1974. That's me with the funny gloves. I was 17 and going on a peace walk. What I didn't know, though, was most of those people standing there with me were Moonies. And within a week, I had come to believe that the second coming of Christ had occurred, that it was Sun Myung Moon, and that I had been specially chosen and prepared by God to be his disciple. Now, as cool as that sounds, my family was not that thrilled with this. And they tried everything they could to get me out of there. There was an underground railroad of sorts that was going on during those years. Maybe some of you remember it. They were called deprogrammers. And after about 5 long years, my family had me deprogrammed, and I then became a deprogrammer. I started going out on cases, and after about 5 years of doing this, I was arrested for kidnapping. Most of the cases I went out on were called involuntary. What happened was that the family had to get their loved ones some safe place somehow, and so they took them to some safe place, and we would come in and talk to them, usually for about a week. And so after this happened, I decided it was a good time to turn my back on this work. And about 20 years went by. And there was a burning question, though, that would not leave me, and that was, how did this happen to me? And in fact, what did happen to my brain? Because something did. And so I decided to write a book, a memoir about this decade of my life. And toward the end of writing that book, there was a documentary that came out. It was on Jonestown. And it had a chilling effect on me. These are the dead in Jonestown. About 900 people died that day, most of them taking their own lives. Women gave poison to their babies and watched foam come from their mouths as they died. The top picture is a group of Moonies that have been blessed by their Messiah. Their mates were chosen for them. The bottom picture is Hitler Youth. This is the leg of a suicide bomber. The thing I had to admit to myself with great repulsion was that I get it. I understand how this could happen. I understand how someone's brain, how someone's mind can come to the place where it makes sense. In fact, it would be wrong when your brain is working like that, not to try to save the world through genocide. And so what is this? How does this work? And how I come to view what happened to me is a viral mimetic infection. For those of you who aren't familiar with mimetics, a meme has been defined as an idea that replicates in the human brain and moves from brain to brain like a virus. Much like a virus, the way a virus works is it can infect and do the most damage to someone who has a compromised immune system, right? In 1974, I was young, I was naive, and I was pretty lost in my world. I was really idealistic. These easy ideas to complex questions are very appealing when you are emotionally vulnerable. What happens is that circular logic takes over. Moon is one with God. God is going to fix all the problems in the world All I have to do is humbly follow, because God is going to stop war and hunger, all these things I wanted to do. All I have to do is humbly follow, because after all, God's the Messiah. He's
And
going to fix
like,
all.
listen, cults think that if they go through this suicide or just had this genocide thing, you'll see that people that are part of cults be obsessed with death and self-sacrifice and suicide and genocide of their own people for a sense of freedom or to end world hunger and all these other things, or overthrowing the government. And part of these things is really, well, putting yourself in the, what is it called? Putting yourself in the crossfires of suicide. So, like, and it really becomes an obsession. And when I listen to this, it really just spoke to me, because you can hear it in certain people who say stuff. Look, like, I'm not finished. I'm gonna finish this, and then yeah, because it's only 6 minutes. I just wanted y'all to hear it because it's deep. Like the way she go in about the obsession with death, because I was trying to understand it, because I was just like, bro, that is an aspect to it, but not all cults have that aspect, and I think that's why it's dangerous, because a lot of cults have that mentality where they think that that's one aspect to it. They think that, oh, your self-sacrifice is going to end world hunger, and that's where the shunning comes in, because that's where the initiation comes in. That's why people look at them like, y'all are sick, y'all are weird. But moving right along.
All I have to do is humbly follow, because after all, God's the Messiah. He's going to fix all this. It becomes impenetrable. And the most dangerous part of this is that it creates us and them, right and wrong, good and evil. And it makes anything possible. It makes anything rationalizable. And the thing is, though, if you looked at my brain during those years in the Moonies, neuroscience is expanding exponentially, as Ray Kurzweil said yesterday. Science is expanding. We're beginning to look inside the brain. And so if you looked at my brain or any brain that's infected with a viral mimetic infection like this and compared it to, well, anyone in this room or anyone who uses critical thinking on a regular basis, I am convinced it would look very, very different. And that, strange as it may sound, gives me hope. And the reason that gives me hope is that the first thing is to admit that we have a problem. But it's a human problem. It's a scientific problem, if you will. It happens in the human brain. There's no evil force out there to get us. And so this is something that through research and education...
Yes, because there's this narrative, right, about these cults that it's the demonic energy and and it's just like, no, it's people as humans wanting to save the world, wanting to sacrifice for the greater good. That is a thing. And I was looking through a whole bunch of chemists, like their findings and their certain therapists and psychiatrists and scientists and neurological scientists on this website that put their theories up on mass suicide and cults and stuff like that, and genocide and cults and suicide bombers and all these other things. I looked into that, and it talked about one of the theories being that it's not even a mental illness. It's just that humans have this need or natural desire to want to, or this natural empathy so deeply. And it can be, this empathy can be worked on us so much to the point where we're so empathetic about others. The ideals that we come up with, that we have to save the world, don't even make sense, because if our race isn't here, you find I'm saying, because we wanted to jump out the window too soon before we even started the program in the minds of the Black people, so we can actually, defeat, white supremacy. If a lot of people don't deem it necessary. So that's not realistic. So we already know any black people right now that's going hard in the paint. That's why I had that show last night on divestment, so y'all could see the delusion in these people who's talking like this, because black women stay down wholesale, right? Now it's getting to be bad where we don't even give a fuck, and that's what I wanted to show y'all. You feel what I'm saying? It's getting that disrespectful in the black community, right? And you talk about you going to die. Well, you just going to die, and you ain't going to get to see if our babies get reparations. That's the reality of it. If we really talking about, the betterment of black people, nah, nigga, you gonna be just a dead motherfucker. That shit don't work. People tried it time and time again to kill themselves for the greater good to stop world humanity. It's not enough people. It's never gonna happen. We gotta go out there and fight. It's a war, nigga. No. Even if it's hidden, even if it's covert and not overt. Makes all y'all say covert is worse because it's more sneaky. It's just like, all right. But what we gonna do? Like nothing. Y'all coochie. Black people, they ain't gonna do nothing. You're not gonna take away black people's comforts and all this other shit. And no, black people. That's why I say a lot of black people is gonna snitch for at least one in a 15-minute net. Y'all go out there try to overthrow the government. It's gonna be a whole line. Okay, the only people, and then on top of that, y'all want to get rid of the crackheads. Like I don't even understand that, because crackheads do amazing work for free. Like I said, leave the crackheads alone. Sorry, I'll be having this cough sometimes when I wake up. It's so irking. But yeah, a lot of people think that whole concept is okay. And it's really not natural. I mean, it is natural for human beings because, like I said, I used to think that I wanted to do that. But then I realized, no, I don't want to do that. I want to kill myself for black people, ungrateful ass. Listen, if I do that shit, it's going to be for, okay, I guess it could be for the betterment of black people. Okay, I would. But at the same time, when you become obsessed with it and you see what's going on in our community, you gigging. I mean, yeah, it would take, I would have to see way more from black people before I even put that idea out there or even try to push it on other black people. That's what I realized. Oh, I didn't even realize Yanga was up here. Hey, Yanga.
Mm-hmm.
It's just you and me.
Well, that's okay.
We up early.
Early in the morning, because you and I need to have this conversation. I'm glad I caught you. It's going to be a lot of people who see this. We're going to have this conversation about yesterday when you and Juju was on this panel. I had things to do.
You came up here to beat my ass?
No.
I'm not even finished. Hold on. Let me finish playing the thing. Because this is my stream.
Okay, I got you.
So dead.
So this is something that through research and education, I believe that we can solve. And so the first step is to realize that we can do this together and that there is no us and them. Thank you very much.
Wait, I disagree with that, ma'am. It's still us versus them, ma'am, especially for black people. Okay, I should never finish the video. That was basically the end of it. I ain't watched the whole thing. But I did watch most of it, and I did get the gist of what this lady was saying. And I think the us versus them, I think a lot of black people don't see it that way. And I think the fact that black people don't even want to start at the root of making black people understand, like, hey, it is a us versus them. At the very least, they just want to be like, why you want to fight for? Why you want to die for the black community, nigga? Because y'all disrespectful and ingrates. What? I mean, I guess I would personally, but I see why other people don't want to. You feel what I'm saying? But what you was gonna say, Yanga?
That's deep. I interrupted this show. I didn't even catch it. Shit, it sounds like you on something heavy. I totally agree in the us versus them or us and them. Wow, that's heavy. No, man, but I listen. You want me to come back? You want me to wait till you finish and I'll run the stream, then you jump up there with me, or are you cool?
No, we
And,
good. We can talk. We
okay,
can chop it up for. I
listen,
got a few minutes,
I
but
have
we
some
might have to
questions.
finish the conversation because I got to take my son to school.
Indeed. Okay, let's start there. Perfect segue into what I want to say when we talk about this black man. First of all, blame your mama, blame his mama, and blame yourself. The first teacher of civilization is the woman. The first person that taught me to tell a damn lie was my mama. Was my mama. When the bill collector called, she said, "Tell him I ain't here. Tell that motherfucker I ain't here." That's a lie. It's not the truth. You begin to set the code. You don't want to know why these brothers have all of these, and I don't even want to say feminine ass ways, bitch ass ways, cause they mamas. I believe that. You want to know toxic masculinity? Toxic masculinity is taught by their mamas. I've seen women with no man to have a reference point. Boy, don't be no punk, nigga, leg falling off, bones sticking out his ankle. I know you ain't finna cry like no bitch. Mamas are tough. Mamas are tough. When I lived with my mama told some dudes, that's where I got my first lesson, for real. Mama said, you don't run. I called myself gonna run from 3, 4 little dudes. Mom said, you better not run
So
in the
you
yard.
said black women should have chose better.
No. I'm not
Well, we should
saying
have kept to ourselves and
no,
not
I'm not.
birth y'all.
Nope, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is in
What
the
was we supposed to
rearing.
do?
No. I'm saying it's in the rearing. I'm saying I'm not
What
absolving
about the man that
black
didn't
men.
show up?
Okay, there you go. Let me answer that. I'm not absolving black man. When you talk about a us versus them, I'm trying to figure out when the war became between us. I'm here's why I lose in the war. I'm
Yeager,
still trying to
in
figure out.
all due respect, right? In all due respect, me and Juju, we've seen a lot of disgusting shit, and we've seen hundreds of thousands of black people, millions
And
of
you
black
don't think,
people that's
but
in
with
that space. Listen, before Kevin Samuels died, he reached didn't he reach 1 million? If I'm
I'm
not
sure I
mistaken.
man, somebody hit me on the head
No.
late.
Even if she don't, this Pearly thing, I know she got 1 million. Is she be in black spaces? Period. That ugly ass
Listen,
white girl.
what does that have to do with? Here's my question. What does
Listen,
that
you gotta study
have
this
to
shit,
do with the
Yanga. It's
mothers being the
deeper than
first
what you
teacher?
can understand.
Help it, then help me get there. Help me
You feel
get
what I'm
there.
saying?
How
And that's what I'm trying to
it sounds
make
like dancing.
these dark
It
side
sounds like
motherfuckers
dancing,
understand that
GTO.
we fighting
It
a deeper
sounds like
battle.
dancing, baby. It sounds
Huh?
like dancing. You take me through the first step. See, that's the problem. And I'm gonna
I
shout out.
am going to take you through the first step. I'm
You
gonna
gotta
bring it
take
here, but that stream wasn't about that. I don't even got my shit on me. I said I was going to get to that today, but Yanga, you is
okay.
on my ass right now. You is in for a rude awakening, sir. It's
I
going to get
will.
very disgusting up on this platform, but I'm gonna make sure the content or whatever they
Yeah,
not gonna
make sure
flag us.
that
But I got him shit for us.
listen. I'm not gonna go. Here's where I'm not gonna. I mean, I'll let you play your stuff. I'm still gonna ask the deeper questions. I'm not gonna go for
Oh, of
sensationalism.
course, because
So because what happens is that's what passes on YouTube for scholarship, sensationalism. Too. Let me say this, man. Shouts out to dogs. This is why I like Blue, because Blue will
and see,
show up.
look. Okay, so this message that they putting out there, even if they not doing it in real life, why are you trying to convince the
It's
people to do
it's
this? It's disgusting.
I'm not agreeing. It is. I'm not agreeing with the message, but to turn it into a full blown war to
And that's why I
where we
also
have the
get on the
hold on,
divestment shit.
GTO, hold on, GTO, to
Okay,
turn
I'm
it
gonna
into
go
a
on mute.
full blown war where we begin to take shots that even if we deem necessary are not genuine, they're not for changing or resolving or fixing a situation. That's the sucker shit. They the agents and the enemies amongst the so-called black community. Here's another problem I have with that. We quick to use black with a broad stroke. We generalize the fuck out of that shit when it comes to negative. But
Yeah.
when somebody does something that's different, they're not black, or their blackness is in question, or they ain't no real black man, or this and that. All of a sudden, we get
I
very
don't do
defensive.
that. I think that
No,
y'all.
no,
I don't even do the
now I'm
you're a
being
little boy shit. So you're a
listen,
grown
listen.
ass man. I'm not
Now
gonna
I'm being
baby you.
general. Now I'm being general. I'm not talking about you specifically. Now
No,
I'm
I'm
being
just
very
saying. No, I'm just saying. I don't think I encourage black women in general to stop doing that because I'm like,
okay.
no, he's a grown ass man.
Exactly.
I agree with you.
Exactly. So but we love to paint that broad stroke with that brush. We have to be careful that they're about social agents amongst us, unconscious agents, if we want to talk that way, if we want to talk matrix talk or conspiracy talk. I don't mind it because there's some validity to that shit. Tuskegee experiments prove that to me. I don't care how old that is. These motherfuckers will get you. So there are some cultural
And I would
agents.
never say kill a black man or down a black
I mean,
man and
and
stuff like that.
that's the
I think
fanatical
the black
shit.
man
But
is
those are,
important. I love the black man.
but you know what you,
That's also
and we
what I
love
want
you for
to
that, and we love you for that, and this is why
But
we
I
love you
am
for
gonna
that,
lean
because
on
you
y'all
are
every chance I
raising.
get.
Absolutely, absolutely. But here it is. I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with that. But when you do that, be careful of what the little future black man you raising. Be careful of the little future black man you raising that listen to tell them to mommy hearing nigga ain't shit. Then when he pull a gun and kill a black man because a nigga ain't shit, the nigga ain't never been shit, the nigga ain't never showed up, nigga don't do shit. You just like the nigga that didn't do shit for your punk ass daddy daughter. And when he kill another nigga that's mirroring him, a nigga or a black man that you've painted out, don't go on about where the black man at. Don't go to the store trying to throw all the shit on us, because our first teachers, a lot of us like y'all, so readily would throw
I
out this
raised my
statistic.
son red pill. You don't
Uh,
even know. These women
Listen, it
disrespectful. I
ain't
get on
you.
the
It
women
ain't.
too.
Listen. I'm gonna tell you this. We get very specific and individual when we jump in these conversations. I'm not talking about you specifically. We do that, but we can get up here. Excuse me. We can get up here and talk general. We can talk broad as fuck. But then when we start, when that a difference of opinion or view hits, we get very individual. I don't do that. I don't do that. Well, if you don't do that and you ain't with that, then be careful what you up here advocating. That's all I'm saying. There's a different perspective. There are men out here that have some view. I'm sorry if it sounds like a Kevin Samuels or some other motherfucker. This ain't that platform. I ain't them. I don't know about a manosphere, a womansphere. I know about being motherfucking black in America. And I know I get tired of being swept into a goddamn general pool of this and that. And then, so what you saying, choose better? Yeah, maybe that's part of it. I don't know. I don't know your circumstances. I know
It's not
social economic.
circumstances. I'm just saying,
That's well, when they say
like
that,
we also have to talk about proximity and stuff like that, but
there
that's
you
another
go.
issue. But
That's what I was
and you
saying
gave
when
the
I was.
you agree though. So we saying the same thing. We don't disagree. It's
I
just
don't.
that different talking points have been embedded in me and Juju mind. And so we don't know that you don't know, and we don't know that we both been like, you feel what I'm saying, we both trying to equal the playing fields, if you will, or
I get
whatever.
it.
So that's
I
that's what it is. And so when well, it was the fact that me and Juju was exposed to that type of misogyny. We would joke about how we ended up just watching Divested Zealot just to balance out the
balance it
scales and be
out.
like, F
Right.
you niggas. After, like, and this
Mhm.
was on my timeline. After I would share Divested Zealot, I would share Stomp Extreme in the Manosphere. Then I would review it and be like, these niggas saying the same thing. Like, that was my content or whatever. But the Manosphere is crazy, man. Like, I'm surprised you never. Well, I can't really
I
say I'm
mean,
surprised because
I've
it's
heard of Kevin. I've heard of Kevin. I've never actually watched this stuff. Like, I
no.
got shit
There's
I
some
watch.
validity to what Kevin's saying,
Yeah,
but he
I'm
double
sure.
talk
I just never
because
watched it because it wasn't anything he was saying. I just never watched it because his style didn't appeal to me. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I have a certain swag that I look for in certain shit when I listen to certain motherfuckers. I still
you
like
looking for the
Harry B. Line.
dashikis. It's okay. I don't
Not,
blame you.
it might be dashikis. I don't even look for too much. If they got two, I look for a dashiki with a pair of Nike. If he got dashiki and beating a straight Congo and everything is straight African out, it's. I love my cousins from the continent. My brothers in Africa. I'm down with y'all. Y'all my cousins on the continent. Right now, though, us right here, us melanated people right here in America, Black Africans in America need to get our shit together. And one place it starts is making a distinction from those of us that are trying to advance the race through, really analyzing the shit in front of us and separating it from the sensationalists. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
And I'm not gonna
because
keep and I'm not gonna be brought.
if
And
you
I'm glad
ever,
I'm looking
if,
for Trevor's ass too. Trevor, if you watching this, I'm looking for you too. You and I need to talk, son.
no, if you ever watch Kevin Samuels, the way he double talks is because I like when he says, "Oh, you black people, y'all don't want to date yourselves, and y'all can't look in the mirror and stuff like that." Because the proximity thing, or the fact that Black women be economically displaced and on welfare, and they be like, oh, I want this high value man. But Kevin Samuels put that shit out there. He put the high value man thing out there. And it's just like, you keep saying that Black people need to start being anti-classist, but he kept pushing this 100,000 thing.
That might have been the first time you heard about it.
What? No, it wasn't, because I agree. But the way he put it, it just made sense. But I just didn't like the 100,000.
You got to understand, I'm 50. I'm 50 and I'm an incrumis. I take and put and believe in some of the philosophy of African socialism. Eradication of the classes has always been a staple for revolution. That's what the revolution is about. Eradication of the classes. You know what I'm saying? He began to sensationalize on it. He pinpointed certain parts of social, cultural aspect of the classes, of the proximity struggle. That's already a philosophy and a theory. He just learned how to articulate it, put a style on it. He knew, maybe possibly, I don't know. I don't want to get in his head. From what I saw of him, I said, oh, this Negro is playing on the neo-colonialist. Gee, he comes off dressed like a professor. He gives you what you've told him success looks like. You make Gucci successful. Why? Because you desire it and lust after it.
And let's be honest, this man got caught in a bed with a man, and all the manosphere dudes is homophobic, and they be talking, FAG this and all that other stuff. But I'm like, he's the FAG.
Man, they into all that old stuff, man. I don't know what all these men. I don't know. I don't know about the general.
Listen, my gaydar is on point, Yanga. I ain't going. And he would talk shit about Black women wholesale. And I'm like, you is raggedy, sir. You're gay ass.
Yeah, your gaydar should be going crazy. They did that shit on purpose. You remember my gaydar used to be honed in. I could sniff them out. My cavity would begin to ache. They'd be so sweet. I'm like, damn, my tooth hurt. This nigga sweet. You know what I'm saying? Now they bombard the television and the media and all of that with that it'll send your gaydar in a frizzy. It makes you it makes you become, culturally protective, culturally sensitive. You begin to value your freedom of the right to raise your family in a manner, in a direction that you feel is advantageous and beneficial for yourself. You begin to feel the infringement, and when you reach out against the infringement, they slap you with a motherfucking label, homophobic. You know what I'm saying? You're like, no, I'm a freedom lover. I reserve the right to not have you teach my child about alternative lifestyles. There's nothing alternative about a man and a woman. That's it. Motherfucker, they told you what at school? No. They lying, son. They done told you a big
that's too far. I just feel like that it should be encouraged to teach your child about that. But
man, listen.
The crazy thing is they don't even teach the other part about it, about like coercion is grape and what is grape and consent and stuff like that. I feel like that goes across the board.
Here's where I may sound like the ass and come off after ass. I think social, cultural understanding should be taught by the family. I think that if you do,
that's not going to be the case, though. That's why they pushing it in
It's
school.
Not the state's responsibility. See, we can't give up that right. Then we as a community better come together and enforce.
And then when your child end up in a situation as a Black man, because he don't know that running the train on this girl, he coerced her into doing something she ain't had no business.
You know where that comes from, GTO? That comes from individualism. That's why
I said I ain't even mean you. I'm just saying the Black man in general. I'm not talking about me.
There you go. But that's what I'm saying. We have to. It does. If you say the Black man in general,
I'm being communal. I'm saying the Black man is. But hold on, the Black man that's economically displaced, they're gonna be very ignorant to that. They're not gonna teach them about that. Black men don't know that. Are you serious? Black men in the hood know about coercive rape.
Here's where you go. Let me answer the question. I love the inflammatory words. Oh, they don't know about this. They don't know about it. It's very sensational. Take a drink of water. Slow down. I'm gonna run it down to you, little sister. That's where individualism is the danger. That's where individualism is the danger. Do you know your neighbor's name on each side of you? You live next to?
I talk to him, but I definitely know a lot of people in the neighborhood.
Well, I mean, do you know your neighbors?
My neighbors, yeah, like in my neighborhood. Does that count in an apartment complex?
I got you. That's fine. Because I'm not gonna put that whole burden on you. I'm making a point. I'm making a, I'm taking a macrocosm, trying to put a
Like, hold
microcosm
on, my
on
shit dangerous.
it.
Like, I don't
So
live
I
deep in
mean,
the
dig it. But one of the first things to do, that's individualist, isolationist thinking. That's the first thing they want us to begin to fear. Is our
But do
own
you think
neighborhood.
that
Wait
black
a minute,
people
hold
should be
on,
honest
GTO.
about us
Hold on,
being
GTO.
dangerous?
Hold on, GTO. Yeah, well, absolutely. We should be honest about why we're dangerous. We should be aware of that. We should be understanding. And I'll take the punk role. I'll walk down the street. Listen, no, really. You know what I do? I'll walk out on the street and I actually will speak to a black man. What's up, bro? I'm that nigga. They looking back, man, nigga. Some of them old lame man, nigga. Oh, real lame man, nigga. I'll take that
Mm.
for the culture. Hey, what's up, black man? Man, ain't on that black shit, nigga. Ain't nobody with that shit, nigga. I'll take that for the culture. That's the least. I ain't no individuals, no coward ass nigga. I ain't going to them nigga. Them nigga mugging me. I used to be the nigga mugging. Fuck, I'm scared about smiling at a nigga when I used to mug niggas down. Fuck, I care. So what I care about giving a smile? Oh, lame man, nigga. Ah, bro, and I keep walking. I ain't even gonna fight about that. I got shit to go home to, a life to look forward to. Yippity doo dah, yippity day. Fuck that. I'm the black Mr. Rogers, this motherfucker. So it's about giving back to the neighborhood like that. And then when you start giving back, we start doing the neighborhood, putting the neighbor back in the hood. Fuck the hood. When we start putting the neighbor back in the hood, then those people that don't have straight parental guidance, there comes a communal code of enforcement. I didn't grow up with everybody. I was fortunate enough to have an abu. But when I went to live with my mom, I grew up in the 80s. You know what I'm saying? I was a teenager in the 80s, but before that, you go with your mom. I have friends whose dads weren't in the house. That ain't no new damn occurrence. What is different is, like I said, the individualism that's being pushed through materialism. Let me tell you why. Because we had a community code of enforcement. Nigga, we had uncles. We used to get chest called. Do some bitch shit in the hood if you want to. You have a whole fist in your chair. Boo, nigga, what? You talk to so and so like that, boo. Miss, you couldn't even say what they called it, sassing. You couldn't backtalk motherfucking elders, this and that. You was first of all cursed dead, motherfucker, if you did that. We thought talking back to old folk. There was a spiritual, mystical element to the community, but also people willing to enforce that if you violate it. Now everybody gets off in their little bunker fortress. They get their cameras. I got partners that shit look like Fort Knox. Do. Salam alaikum. Wa alaikum salam. Come in. Cameras and shit everywhere. Niggas sitting in there. Noid. Y'all ain't hear Noid, cuz I gotta go. You know what I'm saying? We done took the neighbor out of the hood and isolated ourselves. And this is from my brother's perspective. I don't know exactly what the sisters are going through. I'm not going to be such an ass to say, I know exactly what you're going through. I do know the effect you have on us, though, from what you're doing. And I've seen how some of these children are being raised. I think when you get this over jumbo of masculinity, what you call toxic masculinity coming out of these young men, I think a large part of it comes from women. You guys are tough on your sons. But I get it. You have an image of what a man should be. You have no idea what a man is. So I get it. I get it. You got this image, a motherfucking shaft.
Yeah, that's why I said it's hard. It's a hard pill for a lot of black men to swallow, but that's all Cynthia G message was before she started talking about the genocide of black people. She wasn't on that. And then if anything, when she first came on the platform, she was actually very pro-black, and she actually would stand up for the black man. And her message came from actually Woman Spirit. I was beefing with her real bad. Like, you see Woman Spirit on if you look up my name, you see Woman Spirit talking Cash Money shit lying on me or whatever, because she would donate to me just to be petty. But anyway, she was one of those divestment women who talked about, well, no, she did. She never really pushed abort black male baby because she got sons, and she always felt like, no, we ain't going with that one. But she did come around Cynthia G and Nala and push that message to her. And when the more pro-black she would be, black men kept coming in her comments being more disrespectful. And she just was like, what the hell? And she started looking at, the interracial thing, and then it kicked off, and people was like, she's a genius. But then hold on. the views, the more she went, well, she didn't just go live, she would post videos. The more she started posting content in general, the more her traction started going, and she started seeing it, and the manosphere was going at it with her. She started becoming infatuated with responding to directly to them. And the more the manosphere got extreme, basically these men saying that they don't want to raise their little girl. They already brag about not raising their kids. You find what I'm saying? And then that's when the abort black male babies thing came, because they was like, well, these niggas saying they don't want to raise their kids. I'm like, what niggas you saying don't want to raise their kids? These niggas? You know what I'm saying? But we never expected for all these things to go mainstream. And there's been articles came out about black men in the manosphere. And then you see how they be involved in shootings. And, don't you know that joke black people used to say, like, oh, you don't even have to look at the news screen and you can hear the story and tell if that's a nigga or a white man. Like black men changed the trajectory of that, because there's so many news articles starting to come out, and everybody like, hey, do y'all think the manosphere is mainstream now? When Kevin Samuels interviewed Nicki Minaj and all this other shit. So it's deeper than what you can understand. You find what I'm saying? Because it's also beefs that's involved behind it. And then you got Taz, who also was on Cynthia G team. And that nigga beefing with everybody.
Yeah, with everybody. But here's the thing. It doesn't have to. I don't know if it has to be deeper. What we have to understand.
Because I did a stream on Cynthia G, you came up here to beat my ass. But I'm like, no, Yanga, we agree.
Yeah. No, that's the type of soldiers we need. I ain't trying to put the cables on nobody or batteries in anybody's back, but we need the same energy that they come after this shit is the same way we have to regroup, get a philosophy, and come back. Like I say, first of all, you can say black men or black women. We over here saying black people. We interchangeable like a motherfucker sometimes when we're talking about the dynamic that affects us as a family unit. Sometimes
these black men already declared that they divested, that they not dealing with the Blackistan. They call it Blackistan in the black woman and black man divestment community.
I love it. Then that's why we just keep
Blackistan. We don't want to be part of Blackland.
Blackistan. I like that actually. Ain't
that cool?
That is kind of cool, little motherfucker. Blackistan. I'll push that. I might take that. Blackistan. I might take that. That's some real shit. I'm that cold with it. Damn, that's kind of hard. No, but that's all I wanted to come up here and say, man. I want you to do your thing. I just wanted to get the record straight that, first of all, this is a we thing. I'm not trying to trivialize or downplay what women are going through when raising families, when facing these Negroes that on some ill shit. Some of them straight.
And then it's like 5.5 hours. Do you believe in that? The 5.5 hours.
I don't know about it. You have to tell me about it.
Every 5.5 hours, a black woman dies at the hands of a black man through gun violence or domestic violence.
Damn. See, that's a phenomenon that needs to change.
But at the same time, I got on these divestors because I said black men still die at the highest rate, because men globally always die at a higher rate than women. That's throughout all races. I said, y'all better get a gun.
Man, my thing is, like, we can get, if we're looking for statistics, we can do that. That's what MAD was, the Mothers Against Drunk Driving. So and so time at a damn time, so many people die by a drunk driver. You know what I'm saying? Black men be mad, unions will form, so and so at time, this and that across America, black men are being laid off. I really think we should be. I'm not saying that we shouldn't address individual fuck ups that gender holds specific to their gender, but we have to be careful about compartmentalizing the struggle, the movement, the advancement. We all in this shit. You know what I'm saying? Our absence from raising the children, women's being the dominant figure in their life, all of that plays a part. Okay, it's there. It's there. Now, when do we be proactive? Are we going to sit here and keep making these same fucking mistakes, repeating the cycle? And I just really believe those are agents of social cultural misdirection, and sometimes even
do you think you minimize that problem in our community when you just write it off as, oh, they're agents and stuff like that? And you know what I'm saying? Because there's also a whole. I gotta leave soon. God damn, yeah, I gotta leave now.
Okay, go ahead and handle your business.
All right, you can have you need to start schedule a stream on this though.
Okay.
That'd be good. We'll chop it up for real when I have more time.
Okay,
All right.
I'll talk to you in a minute.
All right.
All right, peace.
Peace.